Hey guys, we're pouring a large pool deck today. The whole size of the deck we're doing is about 60 by 56. And then the pool itself is around 40 by 18. So 2,300-ish square feet just for the deck around the pool. Now we've done a couple other pours already on this job. I'll show you those as soon as the camera moves at a different angle. And I have the videos for those too. I'll link them down at the end of this video. But first, let's just talk about this deck, and I'll talk about the cost of all this stuff that we did afterwards, what this would cost you if you were going to have us do it. Now, we were hired here by the pool guy. The guy that installs the pool hired us to do the deck. Usually it's the homeowners that hire us, but they wanted the pool guy to take care of everything here, the excavation, the pool, the concrete, the finish grading, so they didn't have to deal with all that stuff. Now, we're putting in, this is 4,000 PSI concrete. It's got, you can see it's got the wire mesh. We did all the forming here. The outside forms, we used our rigid poly metaforms for most of it. We also have, they also make a flexible form that curves really nicely. And we use that on a lot of pool decks too when the people want curved forms around the pool. And then on the inside of the pool, we set those forms too. Those are our coping forms. Those are from Z Pool Forms. If you want to check that out, I'll have the link for it down too. That is the easiest forming system that I have found for doing those inside forms around the pool, doing pool coping forms. You can also use them for concrete countertops if you want. They got a really cool website. They sell some really cool forms. And then on the inside of those forms, they have multiple types of textures. Those liners, that red, see the red right there? That's a liner, form liner. They have multiple types of different liners you can put in there for different textures. That's our most popular one. It's kind of like a stone textured face, and it overhangs the pool a couple inches when you strip the forms off afterwards. So we're getting this first truck dumped. As you can see to the right there a little bit, there's a slab there for a pool house we did. That was the first pour. And then on either side of the pool house, there's a couple patio slabs we did on another pour just to help to make today a little bit smaller of a pour, make it go a little bit easier. And we got some helpers here today. Harvey's here helping us. Jim is here helping us. They're good friends of ours. Jim does foundations. Harvey does concrete. He does a lot of carpentry on his own too, but usually when we call them when we need some extra help, we can just call them up and they'll show up and help us. Now when we pour around those coping forms, we make sure we vibrate the concrete really good. So we have, not only do we have our DEWALT pencil vibrator that we use first, but then as we mag the edges around it, we also tap the forms too. And you can still see some air bubbles come up through when you're tapping it really lightly. Those forms, they friction fit on there. Usually the pool guy will set like a, what we call like a starter strip when he does the liner. He'll fasten that right to the pool, and then our forms lock right into that pretty good. So we don't have to do that starter strip on probably 99% of the pools that we do, which makes those forms, those pool coping forms, go up really fast. I bet the three of us put those up in less than a half an hour. So all the forming was done around the pool. Took about a half an hour. And then, the outside took a little bit longer than that. But that goes pretty fast too with those poly metaforms because they kind of connect together pretty nicely. And then they have a pretty cool way to stake them into the ground and set them to grade. And I got other videos about that too, but as you can see on this section right here, we just use straight 2x4s, probably because we have multiple jobs set up. We didn't have quite enough to go around the whole pool right here, and they do connect together pretty easily, so they both go pretty good. This is a pretty good sized crew having there's 6 of us here for going around the pool. That makes pouring this thing really easy, especially when some of it's still in the shade like it is today. We had concrete for 6 a.m. this morning. We're about an hour away from the shop too. We knew it was going to be pretty warm out. We knew once this thing went, it was going to go really fast as far as the finishing goes. Now we're going to end up putting a broom finish on it. We'll saw cut the joints in afterwards just to make the finishing a little easier. If it was smaller, a lot of times on smaller decks, we'll hand tool the joints in, and that way they're done. You don't have to come back. You don't have to wait around, because we don't usually like to leave these overnight without putting any types of joints in them. So we'll get this poured, as you see here. We're almost done. Then we'll get the broom finish on it. There's quite a bit of work just to get a broom finish on one of these when they're this size, especially when some of it's in the sun, some of it's in the shade. So we'll get the broom finish on it, and then we usually take off for a couple hours, and we'll either just go get something to eat, or maybe go set up another job, or go look at some jobs if they're close by, come back, and then we can strip off the outside forms. We can get all our joints measured out. We can get our chalk lines snapped, and then we can start sawing with we got a really special saw that we saw the joints in with. You'll see here in a second. That allows us to get them sawed in on a broom finish on the same day, and the joints still look really nice and clean and tight. You can see how large this pool deck is. This thing's massive. This is one of the larger ones we've done this year. Plenty big enough for anything these guys are going to do on top of it. I think they're going to they'll build a house, not a house, they'll build like 4 walls and a roof on top of the pool slab, which is that elevated slab there. And I don't know what they'll do in there. They'll probably have like a guest room in there. They'll probably put a TV in there and stuff like that. But the outside patios, all the broom finish stuff is exterior. Yeah, it was a pretty nice mix. You can see it closed up pretty nice on just bull floating it down and back once. So here we are. The timing on these things is critical. You can see about 2/3 of this is in the sun now, parts in the shade. The part where we started did not finish first. It did not set up first because it was in the shade for so long. So we had to jump over to the part that was setting up. That's Eric and Harvey there on the slab with skids. I'm behind them. I'm kind of working in the joint where we started and where this load started. Plus I'm going around the skimmer, making sure that's all looking really good. Darren's on the broom. Jim's on the edger behind Darren. Now there's multiple different ways you can broom a pool deck, but I'll be honest with you, once everything cures out and looks kind of white, kind of like the pool slab way over there to the left, that's cured out pretty good. That's over a week old. Once everything cures out and looks white, honestly it's hard to tell which way the broom marks go. So no matter what it looks like right now, how like defined they are, Darren's going to broom it a certain way, what he liked. But no matter how it looks today, a week from now, you're barely going to be able to tell which way these broom marks go when everything turns all white. So Luke's going up the edge. It's much faster for the guys on the skids. If they don't have to mess with that outside edge, they can get a lot of concrete magged out really quick. Here's the finished product, all broomed out. You can see how Darren kind of went off the corners at a diagonal. That made it look pretty cool today. But look how white the pool house slab is compared to this. This was the same darkness on the day we poured the pool house slab. So it doesn't take long for the stuff to cure out really fast, especially if the sun hits it. That pad, this little pad back here is going to be for the pump. Over here all by yourself, didn't we? That way they can hide it in behind the pool house. Oh yeah. And we're getting ready to lay everything out. We're gonna get those outside boards stripped off. You're gonna see that right here in a second. So those are gonna get stripped off. Concrete's really hard. 2 or 3 hours. This stuff's really hard. So here we are. It was about 3 hours later. Concrete's already starting to cure up. You can see how blotchy it's starting to look. How much it's lightened up in just 3 hours is amazing, really. And then that's our special saw. That's a really old, what they called a soft cut saw. That was the electric one of the first electric ones they ever had. I still got 2 of them. And the motors on those are really hard to replace, so you don't want to burn a motor out. It's basically useless if you burn the motor out. But what it does, it's really light, and the way the skid plate is designed, it allows you to come in here on a broom finish, and it won't damage the broom finish if you wait long enough on the same day. And the joints are really tight. It's not raveling the joints at all. They still look really good. What we don't do though is, like, we won't take a push broom and broom off that dust. We'll just use like a leaf blower. We have found in the past, if you do try to, because that dust is so fine, it comes off really hard. If you do try to broom it off, you could mess up the broom marks a little bit. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. Number one, about the size of this deck. Do you think it's like super big? And if you like it, and leave any other comments down there. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you on the next one.